get started. It is the Moretown Selectboard. It is Monday, October 6th. Welcome October. We're here in the John Pilgrim meeting room. I'd like to say salute to John. So we'll go right ahead. We're going to start with public comments. I don't think there's anyone on the line. In fact, tonight, just so we all know, we have Robin Campbell, who's online. Mike, Don and I are here, and Holly is off, and we have Sasha inside. We have a few guests who will be presenting some budgets, I believe. But Carol, had something for public comments?
I do have something for public comment. Just came up this afternoon. Mary Murphy came in to fill out an application to put a sign on the door of the Moretown History Center.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her I would talk to you folks about waiving the application fee.
I think it's probably fine.
Because I figured
It's fine to me.
It comes out of this card within the pocket, yeah, so
Yeah.
it's probably fine.
But the question is, this should really be signed by the owner's signature, and I guess there's some question as to whether that should be the select.
Oh, we have the owner
board or
here
library
tonight?
trust.
No, I believe the town is.
Yeah, I think we're,
Yeah, whatever. Because
we'll sign off on it. We'll figure it out.
And you'll waive the,
We'll waive the fee, I think, means, so what's the sign, was it within,
we do our documents.
let's see, a sign, Moretown History Center. By the way, I went there, one Saturday, I spent some time there. Great, that little Moretown brochure, Moretown, was it Wonderful, or something like that, the Wonderful.
Yeah,
One Moretown.
Yeah.
God, really nice, they've done a really nice job, so
It's really nice.
I would recommend everyone go.
yeah, she's gonna try and open it a couple of times, a couple of days, a little bit during the week too, but we can't make it on Saturdays.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
maybe a couple hours, something like that. Let's go on there. All right,
Okay, so I'll leave that.
we'll drop that off
And
to you.
Sasha, I did tell her to give you a call in order to make sure that everything had happened the way I thought it might, because I won't be around.
Anticipating this, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you, Carol. Carol.
Yep.
All right, still no one else in line. Mr. Chris, you want to come up and present your case?
Sure. My case.
And also, Chris and
Louisa.
Louis.
So I assume the budget draft for the rec committee, for which I'm chair, has been circulated. And it's largely the same as last year. In terms of the rec committee, most of the line items are largely cut and paste from last year. And I'm happy to go through them all. There's some interesting stories with a couple of them in particular highlight. And then I think we want to have some time for the path of the Morefest committee and next year's role for that, that committee being standalone, like it started this year out, or being part of the rec committee structure. It'd be good to just solve that and move forward rather than create another committee at 100. So, what would you want me to walk through some of these?
Yeah, why don't you should get some interesting stories and you want to share?
So I don't think that the portalettes are an interesting story, but we're going to get them in next year.
Okay. It's a good story, but not that interesting.
Port maintenance. We have been just using volunteer work and a bottle of crack fill, like around $100, and keeping the status quo there. There's some volunteers that repainted court lines, so all that stuff is kind of happening at a low cost level. We did go out and get an estimate from Advantage Tennis in the Northeast Kingdom to get the court just looked at, and they suggested resurfacing it, which of course, it's a natural thing for them to do. We all agreed that it was not degrading quickly and was in good enough shape, and that we would just keep that visibility in the draft budget, but we really didn't think we would need to, we would defer that probably 2028, you know, at a minimum. So that's a $0 line item just for awareness, and then we have the $500 for the crack fill and other things that come up like that.
That's a good one to watch out for grants for, you know,
Yes.
those type of things. Sometimes they're specific to, you know, things like that.
And we are eligible now for the rec district grant cycle, which is due on November 1st. So we had contemplated, you know, if they said it was critically falling apart to do that. But, you know, while I brought that up, I'm not aware of any active projects that are going to be submitted towards that, although there is a chance that we might get something submitted quickly. I'll bring it up in a line item or two. I don't think it's reasonable that on November 1st we'll have a clear ask.
Yeah. Move away.
So is there, if 2028 is in 3 years,
Yeah.
that should be paid.
Yes.
So that's essentially $4,000 a year to be, if a grant's not,
Thanks.
you know, yes, finding a grant would be a great way to do it, to resurface the court, but if we were to say, oh, in 2028 or 2029, it's gonna have to be repaid, is there an avenue that could be explored to say, you know, put that kind of money away for 3 years, $4,000 a year, or $2,000, I mean, something towards it, you know?
Like a maintenance reserve fund concept?
Or a fund for repaving, but, you know, it's just, well, we put in the budget 1,500 or 2,000 for the next 3 years, at least that pays for half of it while we get a grant. If we get a grant, we're gonna have to make a match, so just trying to, there's a
I kind of
way.
like the idea of almost a maintenance fund, which we've done on some projects. I think I would have a, you know, minimum of 5,000 if we're gonna do it. If we're looking at,
Right.
you know, in 3 years, it'll be 18,000 to do
Yeah,
this.
well, that's true too, it's more money.
Put away.
All this work just happened, you know, in our just before our last meeting, so just quickly, we weren't stressed about the court
Yeah.
condition. And
Well, that's something that we certainly don't need an answer on that now, but by the end of January, when we're doing the articles or something like that, that's when we would
Okay.
do something like
we'll talk about that. I'll talk to Cheryl and too. I don't know what the optics are if we have all the money in a reserve fund and we're applying for grant. I don't know how that works
that.
either.
They don't know.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. So that was largely good news because it's been a while since we've recoded it and it's been holding up even through all those rain and now drought events. We did, this one's a little bit, and how do I word this? There's a loaner basketball hoop up there that the committee would like to purchase. The hoop was purchased for $425 roughly, and it's a freestanding post backboard, it's adjustable, and it's just, we've gone from one hoop to two, and it's a little more age friendly. So we were hoping to make that a permanent part of the tennis courts, play area.
Who was your initial purchaser of that?
I guess Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that, yeah, I think there would be a better process to do that, but this is where we're at. And I think people like the court having another hoop on it. I can't say I've used it.
It gets used by
Yeah.
kids.
Let's
Yeah,
say,
no, I don't disagree
Yeah.
with having it there. Probably, like you said, the process, we need to figure that out.
yes, I have tried to show that there's a process.
So next
Sorry.
time it's
Yes.
it's gonna be on him, I think.
Yes. So that's in there. Trail maintenance and signage, we actually didn't do any big lifts this year. Again, this is just a reserve, the $600. We did just spend like $60 for like safety zone signs. We're gonna go up this Thursday. We've got volunteers that are gonna clean up ditching along the soccer field, around the tennis courts. Mike's gonna take a couple of the kids, these are Harvard High School kids. He's gonna take them out and put up the safety zone signs around the upper classrooms along the new town forest management plan guidelines we created last year. So we're finally gonna get that up before rifle season. Thank you, Michael. And I think that we've been working to get the trails out of the eco classrooms, and I think we got one of them out. I still need to do a walkthrough with Kate. But I think as we get the trails out, there's still going to be trails the kids use in and out. And I think we want to get some clarification signage. Once I just get some volunteer help to execute this, that just says you're entering an outdoor classroom, please respect, or whatever it would say, I don't know. But just something that messages don't break through on your bike or set up camp.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable.
You asked us to look at the fields a couple years ago, and I've really just been, this Thursday will be my third volunteer effort to peck away at that ditch and just get visibility of the drainage, because that was like the first thing we wanted to stabilize before we looked at like the surface material, which ironically is what he's complaining about that actively plays, but people remember it being bad when he used to play. But I think once we get the drainage working, we can come back and look at the surface material. I can tell you it's bone dry right now.
This is the field area.
Yeah, pretty much the upper field below the tennis court is what we're focused on. Because before whatever this floodwater drainage project was that went in last year, we wanted to see how that worked. And we actually witnessed it working really well in May, June when we actually had rain. As far as the fields were concerned. So I think once we clean out the ditch, the ask would probably be to come back and get a town excavator to spend, I don't know how many hours, probably only a half day just scooping that out. I did talk to Martin about this and Stefan back in April or May, I can't remember. But first we want to get all the brush out of there with volunteer effort, because that's easy use of volunteer time.
Mm-hmm.
Very rewarding. The next one is weed whacking. We've had a few years of issues with keeping up with the maintenance on the skills park and the story walk. Both are sort of newish for us in terms of infrastructure, and the whole facility, I think, as we add more traffic and more use, there's more weed whack. Every new idea usually is a perimeter that needs to be weed whacked. And so we felt like we weren't able to get the support of the town specifically on those two items at the key times that we could be on, and that it would be better to control our own end result by hiring someone. And so we were assuming to get someone for less than $50 an hour to come in, hit the skills park twice in June when the brambles are starting to grow big, and again in July before they regrow and harden. And then the story walk is a corridor, and we would want to hit that 3 times. So we just use those logical numbers, come up with a $500 ask on that. This doesn't deny our ability to get volunteers to do it. I did find a volunteer that said if I loaned them my weed whacker, they would do it. So I'm going to try that out also. But
Fill it with gas and give them lunch. And
yeah, it's hard to get volunteers. You know, in June, it's just been really tough to get the right people at the right time. And we have had volunteers helping this year as well. The fence, we haven't had any issues. That's really more of a reserve fund. It appears to be in great shape still. We didn't have any issues at Moretown. Playground renovation, there's a subcommittee that's working with the school, with Kate and the school. Lisa could speak much better to it. But the quick version is we're looking at the compliance of the school's playground, which is right behind the building, as well as the opportunities to improve our other playground, which has less school restrictions out near the tennis courts. We've gotten some cost estimates. It's personally, I think it's incredibly expensive. It's quite impressive how much they're asking. But we're still trying to dial it down into what we think a good proposal would be for our community. So unless I think there's more to update on, that's...
Yeah, I don't think we have those numbers yet to really.
Yeah. And we have some cool ideas. I could keep talking and Lisa could correct me. Yeah, I think we're just waiting to get...
Yeah, we have it all together that way, so, numbers mean nothing if you don't know what you're get it.
Yeah,
Or,
or what we want, so we're, yeah, yeah. So that's for visibility. Summer camp support, I just left it in there, it's the same idea. You know, I think people want the facilities to be used, the summer camp has been here. We kind of keep in touch with them and ask if they need any infrastructure. I think as it comes to their use of the town forest itself, there are no current asks that I'm aware of. But I think we should talk to them. Yeah, I was wondering what, definitely a question.
With the summer camps being here, they're for-profit, people get paid to work for them. I wasn't sure if we should be charging something for them to use this space, because they're making money. Just a thought.
Yeah,
I could be completely out of bounds, but
it's a question we haven't considered. We don't charge a fee for renting anything right now. The pavilion, the tennis courts, or the space as a whole, the eco classrooms. I mean, I suppose we have the MOU with the school.
right. How much use is it getting for those type of programs?
It's 5 days a week for several weeks out of the summer.
Yeah. Are they a nonprofit? I think.
I feel like
They
they
are
might,
a
I
nonprofit.
feel like they are a 501c3.
Is that the,
It's now neck of the woods.
Yeah.
which, yeah, that's.
Yeah.
They've got 20%, I think, or 22% in Moretown, you know,
Right,
participation. I remember them presenting to you guys.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad idea. To me, it's that whole category of should we charge a fee for our amenities, period. And then how do the summer camps. North Branch Nature Center, who like partnerships on the eco classrooms, did come and use it the last week of July. They were on a roaming camp and they wanted to do a week here. Those are the only 2 camps I'm aware of.
Is there any history anywhere else that you know of that towns with these type of programs and that?
Well, we can certainly ask the rec district. I can talk to Laura and get visibility to that. I think the alternative for Neck of the Woods is to use the Harwood High School campus, so they have indoor and outdoor access.
Yeah.
I guess it's a matter of opinion.
I think it's good that
Yeah.
this stuff is being used. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, sorry. Like, you know, is the school probably is in charge now to use the school all summer for the summer camp, or?
That I don't know. There may be.
I mean, but that'd be getting way more wear and tear than like the fields.
Maybe like someone
Right.
do cleaning and stuff like, you know.
Right, yeah.
The janitor
So-
and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
right, the stuff we're doing, I mean, we're gonna mow the lawn, we're gonna trim the lawns, we're gonna trim the much, but, regardless, you know,
Certainly
Even though-
provides it certainly provides a valuable service to the community, that's for sure.
Right.
Not just Moretown residents, but other valley towns as well.
Right, we're part of the Edward Valley now.
No, well,
Or
that.
no, I mean, I'm just joking, from town meeting, we're a half member of the,
You know, I'm sure
rec
kids
district.
from, even Waterbury would probably come here.
Right.
Yeah.
They go to Neck of the Woods and Duxbury and stuff. Yeah, we are part of
Right,
that.
yeah, we're part of Edward Valley now. Yeah.
I'm not aware of any costs they're creating for us. Like, I think we would be mowing at the same rate and weed whacking, and I'm not aware of anything that's creating more wear and tear.
Is there any trash being left out?
that was gonna be my thing, like
Yeah.
stopping when they pick up trash or they leave their cones out and
Right.
like they've left them out overnight when I start in the morning and mow in the afternoon. Not a huge deal. I was just, the conversation we had, 'cause I know that people are paying, several hundreds of dollars to put their kids in the program. I don't know a lot about the program, but,
Yeah.
it's just a use of the, they sometimes come across this, they go in and like, come out when you're in the middle of mowing, you have to leave that field or you're gonna hit kids with their clippings and things of that nature. So I wasn't sure either money or maybe we get a better guideline of
Or an agreement of
things, or an agreement of some kind.
You know, operational,
Yeah.
Because they are using the waterways and the fields.
Yeah, if there was a concern, it would be safety in and around the water when there's water in it. just the access down into the brooks. And we don't have a sidewalk or crossing area down near some of the swimming areas they've used. Our goal has been to connect with them, but I don't feel like we've connected as much as I would like.
Yeah, I think I would make that kind of a priority one in the next year, try to
Yeah,
figure out, and maybe put together, we should probably have a written agreement that we're gonna have, you know, this is going on 5 days a week throughout the summer, just making sure that they're properly insured, which I'm sure they probably are,
but I agree, yeah, like we should.
Maybe some safety items.
Yeah. And as parents, we do sign waivers, right, but,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
it's still a use of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
town land.
and I
It's just
fully
a
support these.
conversation.
Yeah, fully support these.
With all your team.
Yeah, and expectations of the town and them as well.
All right, the matching grants reserve for trail work, we've had this in here for years. It's nice to have some signal cash if we are gonna go apply for grants or talk with the member providers. Probably the most likely use for this in this upcoming year would be our desire for the line item down below to take the story walk and make it more accessible. I think that would primarily just change a couple areas of it. I think it really won't be a large lift. But we probably will need some material. If there's something that I think we could get in front of the rec district by November 1, it might be this for a grant. I reached out to a builder today who's doing, soon I went up to the Pratt parcel up on Ward Hill. It's a 500+ acre reserve, and they do bird walks up there, and they just put an accessible path up there. So we went to a clinic on how to do these. Vermont Land Trust hosted it with North Branch Nature Center, and that trail builder said he just stopped by here on his way home and look at it. I honestly think we just need a volunteer in the community, and not specifically looking at Stefan, but someone that wants to run their excavator and do some light excavator work around the edge of the tennis court and stuff, plus loads of material. So I'm not sure we need nearly the scope of the project they have up there. But I think it's, right now we have side slopes, we have wet slopes. Well, we used to have wet slopes when we got moisture in the air. And we've got clay layer buildups over the trail. So and we learned a lot about how to make it more accessible. There's no certification for accessibility. It's like it's a grade of good and bad, and we can do better. The underlying goal that we have in doing this would be to make it easier to maintain. If we made the corridor more accessible, a little wider, we could probably rip our machines down it. If we needed to do any snow removal, maybe we could have a year-round access, or mowing or brush hogging the edges of the trail to keep it from growing in over time. Right now, there's just there's some tough terrain to get the mower down there, which I don't think it's gone down there this whole year. We've had to weed whack it every
And
time.
I may not have. I haven't been doing all of them
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, I should probably meet with Martin and Eric, and Stefan next year, because I think Eric's done most of the mowing.
Yeah.
So that kind of hits the story walk. I think the idea there is to just make it, it was a pretty horrible spring experience, and it's a pretty awesome experience now, and I think we can just make it better and more predictably better year round with a little bit of work. So that's what we're
Good. No, we can support that.
And the first in the valley. I don't think there's another accessible story walk in the valley. The Bear Initiative, we were requesting funding for that again this year. The attitude of gratitude, I didn't really have enough information to present it to the rec department or the rec committee last meeting. But the work that I did on behalf of Moretown to represent Moretown in the CRP process, the conservation and visioning process, one of the that work wrapped up. One of the next deliverables is this attitude of gratitude. It really deserves to be presented. It's a theme of landowner respect, shopping at local businesses, slowing down, being safe, respecting other people. Like just and it's going to have everything from a video to ethics and trailhead signage, you know, QR codes to kind of explain the vision. And they're already recording the video and they're looking for some funding. So I just put it in here for visibility, and I was hoping that Don and I could maybe come back and present it because it sort of overlaps with the Safe Roads Committee, I think.
And the active transportation corridor as well.
Correct, yes. It's part of that project as well. And then the big chunky ones are Morefest. So we met a couple weeks ago and we pulled together a budget and we felt like the fireworks, you know, were 8,000 last year, so moved it up to 8,500 this year. Made sense. The band, we spent $200 on the high school band last year. We were wanting to have a little bit more flexibility with funding to get a band, although I think everyone wants the high school band again because they brought a lot of awesome music, awesome energy, and they brought a lot of high schoolers, which was fun to have around. Signage, this is just for the Morefest, bigger and smaller signs that we put around town. And then we didn't realize it, but we have a Morefest tent that we've been using, but wind hit it, the poles are broken, so I'm not sure that we can even fix it, but there's a placeholder in here to try and keep the tent alive. And then we need one more crossing strip for the extension cords.
It's a little narrow.
I didn't get to talk to Stefan, I put $100 in here, is that would, yeah, so.
Or it did remember.
Yeah. So minus Morefest, it was a very similar budget ask to last year, and then pulling Morefest under the rec committee, these are the line items that would come in with it, so far as the team pulled together.
Don, questions? Anything, everything?
I would discuss fireworks, but we don't need to discuss it now. Maybe it's something that we could vote on at town meeting, fireworks. I mean, I have enough people coming to me telling me that they don't like fireworks, but this isn't the time to talk about it maybe. But, you know, it's $8,500 and maybe there's another way to spend that money for Morefest other than fireworks.
Yeah,
You know, but we don't have to do it right now.
no, I think that conversation can come once
Yeah.
we figure out the whole format of the Morefest committee, whether it's, let's figure that out, or is it part of the
Yeah, so
committee, is it a subcommittee, or then get Stefan and Lindsay involved, get everyone around the table and say, all right, how is this going to work best?
So we did meet a couple times to talk about it, and everybody's had a chance to weigh in, and the proposal kind of goes back to your call to me in June to make it sort of a subcommittee in the rec committee structure. Lisa was willing to chair that subcommittee, and then they would work together to manage the vendors and the marketing and, you know, the spreading out the food vendors and all the stuff and things, coordinating with the fire department and the PTO, and you know, pulling it together, and then every other rec meeting or quarterly, whatever makes sense, that the Morefest subcommittee could present to the rec committee, and just we would bring those larger visibilities of approval and recommendations to the select board like we do today.
That's good news. Perfect. Stefan and you and Lindsay were all involved in this?
Yeah, with Lindsay and I, like, both of us didn't have nearly as much time this year as we've had in previous years, and Michelle got done.
Right.
So it made a lot of sense, and it seems like we're taking ideas from both the rec committee and from the original Morefest committee and kind of forming it into what it is. It makes a lot of sense, but keeping it, you know, also meeting with the vendors and stuff separately from the rec committee is also a good thing too, kind of give that flexibility to kind of figure that out, if that makes sense. But it seems like it would make a lot of sense to be under the rec committee.
Right, and obviously you would put the energy and time to do it.
And Tessa said she'd come back.
Co-chair, and Tessa and I, we can work that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we would, we're getting vendor feedback right now, and we're gonna come up with like lessons learned and new ideas for next year. And I think we would, in doing so, try and do some recruiting. We certainly had a ton of
We had a
volunteers.
ton of volunteers.
I wouldn't doubt if one wants to jump in and help with a piece of the Morfest committee work as well.
Well, good, well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I think it's,
Yeah.
That's
so
good,
we're
good
good with
news.
that, yeah.
So if we do that, I think we would be dissolving the existing Morfest committee bylaw structure and adopting the governance of it under the rec committee structure, which right now isn't articulated, it's been implied by. There's not like a doctrine we follow other than other town committees. So.
Right,
Yeah.
I think to do that, and there may be things in there that you see that's under the Morfest community bylaws that you, or bylaws that you may,
Right.
let's follow this, but, some of it can be a little looser than
Than that document,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that there's a lot of like why we do things the way we do in that document that almost would be good to bring public on the website. That we're trying to have local vendors, local food, local nonprofits.
That was the goal when we built the bylaws, was that exact thing, kind of keep it local and small, but have enough of the food
Yeah, no,
and the activities as well.
And I don't think we don't want to exclude you, like, come to even.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's what makes the whole Morfest is the whole components of the fire department, the historic department, the
Right.
recreation, the library. I was waiting for the best to last.
Yeah, the PTO was there, and,
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like a pretty big success this year, and the weather just made it that much easier.
Yeah, weather really is.
Yeah, and somehow we got our fireworks in before the danger was too high.
Yeah.
So I did a couple of related topics. Quick on top of that, we can address another time. There's a couple things we'd like to store, whether they're related primarily for Morfest stuff. So we're looking for some small space, town space to store signs, kind of like the 10 and some wooden space. We could work with Donna on that.
Work with Don and maybe
Facilities
like
manager.
if you know
the
her.
facilities guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, the signs have been at the town hall.
I think the previous to the town hall in the library, I always put them out in the utility room. I don't know if that's still a viable space to use or not.
Well, we just had a little flooding incident, but they were fitting behind the door to the basement, to the walk down. Like,
Okay.
that's where I've seen them before, so I'm sure we can find some space for those signs.
We'll work with Donna and Corey.
Yeah.
Good.
We are part of the Matter Rec District. We do need a liaison to represent them. My next step is to follow up with a couple of individuals, and what I did attend, not the last one, but the one prior. They're working on a strategic plan, and I told Laura I would just fill in and do that role until I found a replacement. Which is not ideal, but it puts pressure on me to find a replacement. And I also, the theory of bringing it out of the rec committee, so that we're all together, like, I need to understand what they are anyway, so we kind of understand that two-way ask, and I kind of work with a lot of them anyhow, so.
Is there anybody on the rec committee who would consider being there?
Yes, Mike has expressed some interest, but he wasn't there in the last meeting. He's been doing a lot, honestly.
Mike, who's that?
Stroney. Yeah. Did I say it wrong?
I don't know.
And,
I think it's Stroney.
we can all certainly ask around, or is it something we should put on the website or something, that we're looking for someone to fill that role, or, I don't know, or make a sign, a couple of posters, I don't know.
Yeah, posted.
Or, yeah, I was gonna say,
Forum, that would be.
yeah, Chris, why don't you do that, if you want to write something up,
Draft something out.
draft something, put it on for official.
Okay.
Or if you want, you can send it to Sasha and she can post it.
Yeah. And just, I guess it could have been public comment, so you could shut me down, but it's rec related. It's something we talked about in the rec committee a lot, is like the sidewalks and the connectivity outside of the village, and just like high level. I've been working on this ever since we moved in, is trying to get pedestrian access from Pony Farm Road to the village sidewalks, so that you don't have to go around 100B. The Matterhorn path is in the corridor study, and while they're focused on Warren to Waitsfield, and then Waitsfield to Moretown and to Harwood, right now the plan, based on all the public feedback and strategy work with V-Trans, is that it's best to come down Pony Farm Road. So if they do start to pursue that small connector, essentially from the driveway that Corey and I own access to, which we're willing to work with the path, and have been talking to them for 8 years about this, kind of skirting through the woods there and coming out in one of really just 3 parcels where it could pop through to hit Hurdle Road and Route 100B there. It would be the Frank Piazza parcel, which is active, and I've been talking to the representative, even to the point of pricing, which is probably pretty prohibitive, to get a 10-foot easement through there for pedestrian traffic. But that's one opportunity that I'm trying to keep an eye on with the path, with the board, and would assume support from the town to wanna, like, at least verbally, if not financially, invest in a corridor like this. And then the Marvin Kingsbury parcel, I've been keeping in contact with an opportunity there, which hasn't presented itself, and Craig Eilers. I mean, if you look at the maps, and I can show them to you, there's a very limited way, there's not a lot, which is why 100B goes around that rock and the river. There's not a lot of other options, but I actually think I'm getting some momentum, and Craig and I have been working together on some next steps. So
Yeah, it would be a real game changer for a lot of people, for sure. To have that walking and being able to walk or ride a bike on that, or run, whatever.
Yeah, I see a lot of pedestrian traffic on that road.
Well,
Nobody wants to hit 100B.
Yeah, no, it's hard.
So it's kind of,
Winter especially.
yeah, I'd love to make it winter accessible. So,
Well, good. Well, Chris, thank you. Thank you for putting this together. As we get towards the front, we have things that we have to start whacking out. We'll let you know, but it certainly looks like a pretty responsible budget.
great, thank you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you. Made the library folks late, because ladies, how are you doing?
Good, guys.
Sorry to keep you behind.
You didn't have a conversation with me.
Yeah. At least it's another one of your date nights, not an office.
Right. So overall, it's been a good year for the library. Corey has seen consistent, if not continual, kind of growing numbers with materials being used and taken out, attendance for the various programs and offerings that our library offers, and in conjunction with like the Matt River Library group. So yeah, good year all around. We have a few new members on the trustee board last year, perhaps. So it's been good to get some new people in there, and we're all figuring it out together.
How many people on the
Five.
board?
I think that's in the bylaws.
Yes. Yep. Took a little bit to fill some spots, but we're there. This budget probably you see too many numbers all year, but it should look similar to last year. We actually are, for the most part, just looking at a flat budget. We kind of understand what the expenses currently are and are okay with not looking for an increase in any areas for this year, with the exception of an additional $200 for books and materials. This is an area where we have noticed the largest increase in just the cost of everything going up.
I think I'm at the budget number for this year
Yeah.
already right now in
Yeah.
October. And the other piece is the use has shifted a little bit to, we have almost 50% e-circulation and 50% physical circulation. And believe it or not, the e-materials are a lot more expensive. Right now, we're just part of a consortium, so we kind of pay a flat fee for our patrons to have access to ebooks and audiobooks, but the wait times are really long. It's like 6 weeks for a
I use
title.
it, yeah.
Okay, so you know.
I
and-
like it, it's a great service, but yeah.
But yeah,
So,
it's not what you expect from a digital service.
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
we could do a program called Overdrive Advantage, where I could actually purchase titles for our patrons, so you would get first use of them. But it's been prohibitive with our budget, so that would be, increasing it would be another area I could explore. Of maybe I could get some of those super popular titles to be part of that program without compromising the physical collection that still gets quite a bit of use.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to look at, to see, you know, and is there like different levels, you know, you get these books if you pay this much more. What type of fees, I mean, how much more?
Well, so the publishing industry really does not like to sell e-materials to libraries. So, you know, you buy it for your Kindle and it's, I don't know, what, like $4 or something. It's like $90 a title for a library. And a lot of times that's limited use. You only get so many checkouts. Whereas if you buy a physical book, you know, you kind of have it forever until it falls apart. And it's more like $20. So,
Wait, so it's $90, just to say hypothetically, but then they still limit the number of uses.
right,
that
then you
have.
still might only get 300 checkouts before it disappears, or, you know, more than one person can't be using it at once, which in some ways
Yeah,
is, to me, the point.
Well, they figured out that, yeah, they,
So,
just like software.
they're just not friendly to libraries with it, so it's just an added expense to purchase those titles. So I've just been doing the flat fee, but again, it's, you know, I know the wait times are really long for people.
Is it shorter to get the actual book then than waiting, the wait time to get it
The
digitally?
physical book, it probably depends on the title, but yeah. But there's so many people that really just use
Digital.
their readers.
Yeah, there's fewer people going after the hard copy. I think, well, you said 50/50 at this point. in the
Yeah, and I feel like when I started 10 years ago, it was probably 65, 35, or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, COVID really pushed everybody online in a lot of ways too, so.
So yeah, that line item is the only one that we are actually looking for an increase. And that, we try to keep it as minimal as possible. As Corey said, you know, we have already hit our materials line item, so next year, exploring the online, a different online purchase, we may feel differently. And then so as we put together the budget, we also really just went with the simple line items that the library has been operating with. We did not get into any of the nitty gritty of like teasing out yet, like town hall stuff or taking out the old library stuff because we have not heard, you know, that's not actually finalized and it felt better for the trustees, it felt better to keep the couple line items for the old library in there as a just in case, because technically.
Well, and I know the last time we were in here,
Yeah.
the conversation was, do the trustees really own that building?
Yes.
Should we be acting as, should the trustees be acting as landlords? And so I know there was gonna be some investigation on your end, and I talked to Mike a little bit.
Yeah.
So not being sure of any of that, it also seemed easier to present it as is, but I think it could certainly change if you guys are ready to
Yes, yeah, we're completely open
Have
to,
a history building budget.
Right, yeah, because Corey and I were talking, yeah, I mean, like, if the history center's gonna be taking over that building,
We should
the
probably,
fuel, electricity, and whatever should be on their budget and not on the library's budget.
yes.
yeah, and,
Just to make it more clear, and then to not put more work on you guys for something that may not, whatever.
yeah, I did meet with Denise and Mary and go over like where the budget is for this year, because with the increased use of heat over there, and the issue with the actual heater, that budget we had basically expended by the last time we were here talking about it. So I gave them some historical numbers and then the current numbers, and they seemed like they were gonna try to compile
Good stuff.
additional costs to present to you guys, hopefully. So we had talked to them about that, but as of now, we still kind of have our standing MOU with them that has us with electricity and heating. That being said, like Corey mentioned.
Well, I think it was
we're-
electricity and building maintenance, because I think
Yes,
the
yes,
original
sorry.
understanding was they would find a way to
Yeah,
pay
no, I
for
think
heating.
that's a good idea to, let's make sure that it's being paid for right now, or someone's taking responsibility, but as
Yeah.
we're moving forward, I think even
We
with
could
this
back
budget, if we can start line items for the history centers, we're gonna call it, I guess, and kind of taking some of the historical stuff maybe that you've given to Denise.
So make a new department, you
Say again?
create a new department.
Yeah, wow.
A new budget item.
New
Yeah,
line.
That's what Sharon said it will need to.
Yeah, there's at least a new GL number.
Right,
Yeah,
You can put in a
Yeah.
GL number.
yeah.
And then the complication comes in of, well, we're in the town hall space, so do we absorb some of that heat and electricity expense into this? But like, it just started to feel like complicated and it needed more time
Yeah.
than we have right now in this budget season.
Yeah, but we're obviously open to if in the middle of next year, this all changes, like we understand.
Or before the,
Or we have
this
to.
budget season.
we may be able to do it before. It may not be as complicated as it should be, or we make it out to be, but we'll
Yeah.
try to make it easier.
We're all on the same team,
Right,
so we just have to figure out the buckets.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
for visibility, so we
Yes,
can see where it's
exactly.
really going, and so we have an idea of what we're spending, where it is, where it's being
Yeah.
spent.
Yeah. Do you
Good.
guys have any other questions for us?
Mike, Robin's online, Donnie, anything?
No, everything looks fine to me.
I think it's not so much questions, I talked to Corey about it. Are you a trustee or no?
I am not.
You're not, okay, so, I think from our perspective, and like we don't have to do, I don't know, I feel like we don't have to do like a formal transfer of that building because the Friends aren't their own separate, or the trust, who owns it, the Friends, right?
This-
Trustees.
The trustees,
The
yeah.
understanding has been the trustees.
Okay, but yeah, so that's not, that's part of the town, it's not its own separate organization. So it's going, so I feel like we all kind of agree that it's going from one town entity to one town entity, we don't need to do like a quick claim or whatever. And so just feeling like if you guys are fine with that, I think.
Yeah, well, if we look back through the deed, I mean, everything that we could read in the deed, I mean, it's clearly, it was clear as mud, that it's just a town owned.
Right,
Yes.
so I just wanted to, since you're here, because I talked to Corey about it a week ago, I think as long as everybody's fine with that, we don't need to do any sort of
Sign up.
formal transfer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's, yeah, I think that would just make things more transparent.
And, give the library board of trustees, take something off your plate so you can focus on library stuff.
Right, and put it on Don's plate.
That's
And
You're slowly being crushed.
and then maybe a rec committee office up there, is that what you're looking for, Chris? That's what you got.
Yes, I was just going to chime in for our executive suite. Does that imply that the insurance also is covered by the town currently and would be,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, it is.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
there's no change there, so I think
Right.
that's.
it's not that it's unstable or could, whatever.
No. Very good, well, thank you, ladies, appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for doing a good job in the library.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do a quick update with the basement and just see.
Sure. So I left Thursday evening out the basement because there's a D&D room down there and I was just sort of shepherding them out and everything was fine. I got there on Friday morning and I didn't make it downstairs, but a story time family went down there and came back and they're like, did you know that there's puddles all over the basement? And I was like, no, I did not know. So I went down there and clearly there had been an event in the NEP room. I'm not sure from what unit, but the water went across the whole basement floor, not quite to the back corner where the elevator is, and it went over to the far wall. It flooded in the basement stairwell and the kitchen area and the closet in the kitchen. You know, it was like standing water. But it was clearly drying up. Like whatever happened was done happening. There were like splatters all over the chair in the NEP room. I don't know if you remember 6 months or a year ago, something similar happened with not as much water, but nobody could figure out what it was.
It's like somebody releasing.
Did Pete come there to look at it?
Well, so I called Sasha and talked to her, and I guess Pete was scheduled to come on the 15th anyway. And because it was, whatever happened was not happening, it had happened. I was advised to just wait until that.
Unless something else
Appointment.
happens between now and
Yeah.
then.
So we mopped it up, we have fans on it, obviously we'll keep an eye on any mold situation, but it was definitely an event that happened sometime
Is that like a boiler? Is that a standard boiler kind of thing?
Yeah, maybe, I mean, it's hot air furnaces, so I'm a little confused, but I'm no expert.
Oh, it's hot air. Oh, okay. Well, that is interesting.
But the whole water system is in there too. When I went in, I could not see like where I thought it had come from, other than it clearly came from that room.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
My money's on TMP valve, temperature pressure relief valve.
Maybe, I mean, the one thing I'll say that I recall now is that I think the heat did turn on for like the first time all season that evening. I heard it come on, but nothing had happened as of 6 when I left, so,
So make sure the mechanical people know that key
yeah.
piece of information right there. That may clue them into the valve.
Right.
Stuff.
Well, like you said, a smaller version of this did happen like 6 months to a year ago that no one could figure out what it was.
No. Thank you for it.
Yeah, okay. No.
Have a good night, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Great, Chris, too.
So, sorry, is that something you could
Hey, Chris, do you have Chambers?
They know about it. They're gonna-
There's a few bags left. There's a few bags left in the farm stand, and we're going to dig the rest next week, so then I'll know.
Please, thanks.
Lucky for you guys, too, the peak of the
Fire start right now.
Thanks, Tom.
All those guys.
flooding everyone in the whole world.
All right, we have 5. Everything's going, Stefan?
Good. I suppose I will start with the budget line items portion. No big changes, just like dispatching.
Just on page 5. That was way down. You got it?
No real like crazy big changes. The dispatching services, that's always gonna go up. They are working on getting the finishing touches of a grant to revitalize that system, which is good because it's very well aged, but it all plays into, you know, the cost of doing business goes up every year and such. Everything goes up a little bit, so supplies and expenses, I put another $1,000 in that, and serious, just kind of gives us a little more of a buffer. And then I don't remember what percentage the Waterbury contract is gonna go up, so I added a little bit to it. not really knowing the exact price of, I remember there was we agreed upon a certain percentage a year, and so I don't remember what that was. And that's otherwise pretty level funded as far as line items.
Okay, 1 second. So on the building maintenance,
Yeah.
on the top, I know Don, we added $5,000.
Yeah, so we've spent about 1,100 of that 5 to do the cedar trees along the edge, and I'm gonna spend about another 4 on exterior repairs this fall. We had a volunteer crew clean up around the fire station. There, I was gonna do this, we could do some of it now, to plan for next year. But another item to maybe spend some money on this year, which would take us over this, is we need pest control. There's this amazing amount of bees and hornets and stuff flying around. And we might have to get someone up into the attic, so no one's gonna want to go up there. So that's, I got a price for that. That's, I don't know, $300, $400 to bring someone in to do the pest control. And then I'm
Tell me
hoping
you
that-
couldn't give a couple $100 to someone on your team, say, look, get $200 to get up there.
No,
Save us a couple hundred,
yeah.
plus take a video.
Oh, I had the name of the company. Central Vermont Pest Control, Joe Mullet. He was actually gonna be able to come out the other day, but I couldn't do that without getting approval, but. So we have that item, and then, you know, we don't need to go, there's a list of some stuff that we will do next year.
Right.
We do have, I'm hoping that maybe one of the volunteers at the fire department or someone, we do have a friend living in the back of the fire station, either a woodchuck or a skunk, one of the two.
And I
So-
only saw film sometimes at night, so I don't want to.
So we need someone to trap that or do something, because it's dug a couple of good holes that we discovered when we cleaned up.
Underneath the foundation.
Underneath the foundation, so that needs to be taken care of. If anybody knows someone who could.
You have
Deal with
a hard
that.
trap, is that what you do with that?
Well, mine said he has to have a hard trap, but he doesn't have the time or the heart to take care of it. But he does have it, but, you know, it's gotta be checked a couple of times a day, so.
Right. And then we have skunk that we covered and released without skunking.
Right. Yeah, so, you know.
I'm thinking it's a woodchuck myself, but I don't know, that's my bet.
The only reason I think anything about a skunk is
Has it
right
smelled like
after
that?
dark, I go outside from being inside and I can smell.
Oh,
your neighbors, that's just your neighbors.
Yeah,
It's just your neighbors.
out back.
So, but in terms of, you know, that 5,000, we're gonna use that just for some building maintenance items. And then for next year, you know, the front lights, the lights over the garage doors need to be repaired. The door, the entrance door needs to be repaired.
So why don't you go ahead and work on like a budget for that?
Yeah, okay. I wasn't gonna take the time now.
Yeah,
I have some numbers.
But knowing that 1,500 is not,
Not nearly.
well,
No, we gotta,
And I didn't know what dark thoughts were going into
that's
this.
fine.
so yeah, we'll have to work on that.
Right. I'm sorry, I was just, I interrupted you, Stefan, but I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure.
well, I-
address that, or
Oh, no, that's
Don.
Some other questions I had. We've spoken about the 2 new sets of gear this year.
Yeah.
And it's something that was gonna be put into the budget, but I can't find that that's in a line item anywhere.
I think we were just gonna
If
do,
it was an article, that doesn't get put into the budget.
It was gonna be an article, and you guys had decided you wanted to.
I think we were just gonna
add
pay it, no, weren't we just gonna, it's for this year. like,
Yeah, this year,
The
yes.
current year that we're in. And it was, didn't we decide we were just going to, we got a recommendation from the finance committee to go ahead and just buy it.
Haven't we already paid it?
No, that was, we paid it last year, we haven't gotten it this year yet. So I was looking at it and I was like, well, wait, the money, because you and I have spoken about it, and I was trying to find it and I couldn't find the money, so I was like, well, I assume it would be the same 10 grand that I was asked for the year before. And I did get a quote back today, you know, and it was 93.52, and that's from the company we've been using. But obviously I want to get
Right.
at least one more, at very least, to actually make a decision on that. But that,
Yeah, I think, well, I don't think of it, I know we talked about it and we asked the finance committee about it. We can ask Cheryl, and I think she has the notes on it, but,
Okay.
and that we said we were just gonna go ahead and
okay,
do it, but make sure we're following all the policies that we need to. And I think it was maintenance reserve that we were gonna take it out of something, I can't exactly remember, but I know there was a reason we decided not to put it on that line item.
okay. With that said, in the last couple of weeks, I've had to turn away 4 people because I don't have gear for them to get into to join the fire department. Which is the first thing ever for me to ever have to do.
That's good news.
And I don't know if we want to try to continue with the 2 sets a year, which is a sustainable amount, or try to do a little more in the next year or 2, like kind of just start that conversation a little bit.
Yeah, and we're turning people away. I mean, is there anything that we can do that we're training these people? I mean, do you have enough turnover that they hate to say, oh, you can't come in now next month, and someone.
Well, that's what, like, so we're talking to them, I've kind of been explaining, like, hey, like, it's not that we don't want you, it's a lack of having the safety equipment for you.
Right.
And kind of keeping them interested, like, hey, you know, as soon as we, you know, can get the opportunity, or work, you know, and get different gear, or somebody leaves, or something like that. So I've been keeping in touch with those people. But like, it's hard at the same time, because, you know, with the insurance, like, when we're doing training, we're supposed to be wearing most of our PPE as well. So it, like, I'm trying to figure out the balance of.
Right, how many sets of gear do we have?
So we have approximately 20. We have 16 active members right now. And then the other stuff is either far, far too large, or so far out of date that it goes down to your knees, and it's something that they would wear back before I was born.
Right.
And so that's kind of like where.
But it sounds like there's 4 units in there that are usable, that these 3 or 4 people could possibly use, or not?
They don't have it's not even close to the right size.
Okay.
That's kind of the
Okay.
problem we've run into.
Can't bulk them up at all?
Right?
Or put them on one of the weight loss drugs or something?
Right. So it's it's a kind of a crazy, I've never been in a situation
Yeah.
to turn people away, which
Yeah,
I don't want to be.
especially a couple of years ago, we were like, whoa, we don't have enough guys.
I was looking at it today, we have 16 active people that I see on a regular basis.
We're all good in that, but that's just not being on the list of something.
Right, and you know, they've done well, and you know, a lot of them are new. We have, this summer's been, for some reason, a great summer. I don't know who's been talking to who, but keep doing it in some
Do
aspects.
they all know each other, or is this like?
Well, so a lot of them know each other, because a lot of them graduated high school, and a couple of them joined the fire department that I knew. And a couple of them are their friends, a couple of them are people that are just like random people that are in the
Boys have folks?
Yep. Or at least working in Moretown, like a couple of them, they don't necessarily live in Moretown, but they work in Moretown. So it's kind of a good way. People can, is where they work in Moretown. So that's kind of that. And then it comes back to the SCBA units that we, had stagger purchase. We had stopped at 7 because we didn't really have the people to have more.
Right.
9 was kind of my goal number to fill the seated positions in the truck. So that would be 2 more. Just, I'm not saying yes, no, or maybe. It's something to think about. I know that we're trying to crunch some numbers. I just wanted to make sure that the conversation started to be had, and it's on the radar.
How much are those units each?
A lot.
Yeah, those are-
Like,
I don't even have a guess. I want to say it's just over 10 grand apiece.
Yeah,
Especially 9 or 10, I think, so
Yeah.
the last big.
yeah.
And we're talking about $5,000 for a set of tournament gear, full set of tournament gear.
Right.
$5,000 for one
Yes,
set.
and it's technically, under NFPA regulations, it's a 10-year set of gear, which is absolutely just out there. But
Are we, what kind of fundraising are we doing?
So-
Don't get much of that going on at all.
we've done some, like obviously Morefest has been
Yeah.
pretty lucrative for us.
How'd you do there?
We cleared $800 of profit, which is decent.
Yeah, for now.
And, you know, we do get a lot of people that, you know, send yearly donation checks and things of that nature. As far as fundraising, it is a little bit hard, maybe a little less hard now with more people, but it's been hard because, you know, these people have day jobs and
Okay,
lives too. So it's kind of hard, but you know, we've been consistently, you know, keeping a little bit of money in the purse, if you will, you know, buying.
It's hard to come up with a good fundraiser too, that doesn't take tons of time and effort,
Right.
that pays for actually the.
Right, it actually makes
Real money.
something. And so it's been
Have you ever, and I think you would, I don't know if you did it or not, you're gonna do a coin drop once, is that right?
we did do a coin drop just before the eclipse came through. The week,
Right, that's-
Saturday before the eclipse or something along those lines. And I wish I could remember the numbers off the top of my head. We were over $1,000 of profit, and that was a great thing. And I do want to do it again. I just don't want to be the guy that's like out there every other Saturday saying, "Give me your money."
Oh, no,
I'm thinking like this time of year.
yeah, this time of year, or the, or 4th of July, or, 'cause, you know,
Right, you know, people
get
in
here,
here.
the Warren and the
We
parade.
always get you going to the Tunbridge Fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's how I did it, I mean,
Pull
two
it
times,
up, there they are.
there are 2 towns that do it, there's Tunbridge and the one before, I mean, so it's,
Chelsea or something like
yeah,
that.
something, but, yeah, it was,
No, and it's certainly been on the radar to do it again.
that's something where you could, it's clear profit, because you don't have to put a lot into it.
Right, and now we bought, because one of the rules for the state permit for it was we had to have a sign saying what our
Right,
thing was, and we bought the sign saying, you know, Moretown Volunteer Fire Department.
Yeah.
And we borrowed the coin drop signs from another fire department. So we can do it.
that might be something to put on your radar for someone that's not as labor intensive, although it does take time, you have to be safe about it, but,
But I can certainly.
it might get you, you know, half a set of gear or something like that.
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
You know, if you plan it right.
I agree. And then, just throwing it on the radar again, Finance Committee had talked and we had come up with 2029 being a new fire engine year. 2029 is getting closer every year. So it's time to start thinking about the build and such of that and how we want to set it up. If we want to do a similar process to how we did with the tanker or how it's all going to look, or just getting it out there. I know it's only, you know, going into 2026,
Yeah.
but 2029 is going to come up fast, and I certainly want to be prepared. We've been spending significantly more money on keeping our current frontline fire engine up and going, and, you know, it's age related. It's in 1999, so it's had a few years. And, you know, it's
Well, no,
I mean, it's still a great unit, and you still have a ton of life in it, but the conversation, I don't want to surprise anybody with it.
no, I think it's earlier.
Yeah.
How much your fire engines?
A lot.
Oh, yeah.
You're probably talking 600,000 to 700,000 right now. But I will say also, the state did just sue the 4 big manufacturers for colluding on pricing.
Yeah, I remember reading about some stuff a couple of years ago.
So
Yeah.
there is a committee, a congressional committee looking into that, so I don't know if that changes anything or not, but just, we're looking into the future and trying to see where it goes. So I'm gonna just kind of start lightly looking at things and going from there. I just wanted to keep it in it. And then one last thing, Would the board be amenable to working with me on an ordinance for open burning in the town of Moretown? So, the state obviously has their stuff about open burning, and like they can prevent me from doing permits for open burning, but like a fire pit for, you know, just a campfire, I don't have really that much say in. But if we get a town ordinance, we could, if we get into a very dry situation like we are now, we would give the authority to actually prevent that.
There's no ordinance needed.
There isn't,
No, you're the fire warden.
so it would fall under that process then? Cause it, yeah, just, like obviously you guys, I assume saw that it posted about the burn ban for Moretown.
If
On
it's
DG.
dry, you have the authority to just say you cannot have a fire.
Yeah, I didn't see the posting in Moretown's front porch forum about the
Yeah,
drought
not
and
really
the
front porch
burning.
forum.
No, I didn't, I look at it every day.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing-
I mean-
I'll have to look and see. It
When did you
would've
do
been,
that?
the same time that the VT alert went out and.
And I sent you a copy of Montpelier's, remember?
Yeah, it was just doing that, yeah.
That's
That would
also,
be-
I don't know whether it was yours or someone's, but I did see some,
Well, I sent it to the board or something, that we should send it.
Yeah, so I did it to the VT alerts in Moretown. I did it to the Office of Emergency Management on Facebook, Moretown Office of Emergency Management. And I thought I went into the front porch forum.
Well, we should.
I did it on my phone, so no bad.
I think, to Sasha's point, I think, you know, I think the state gives the fire board enough authority to say, all right, it's dry, you can't do this.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that and you're still having people burn, then we'll,
They've been pretty good, but it hasn't stopped. I'm like, oh, it rained. Well, it didn't rain enough.
yeah. No, I-
We are incredibly lucky here in Moretown that, we've gotten lucky. I don't know if you saw this weekend, like Williston had a pretty eventful wildland fire. Middlesex on my way here was just going out to a small wildland fire. Like we're getting to the point where it's a real thing.
Yeah, no, I've been reading about it, it's bad.
I was even surprised because we've been camping a bunch and we were in the National Forest like a week ago, and I was surprised we were allowed to have a fire.
Them and like the state parks have been very diligent about, looking after the fire pits and making sure the pits are in good working condition.
Oh yeah, I know, but I just was still like, I was like,
just a
okay.
hammer anyway.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, I was like, oh, I guess we can have it. They're not saying we can't, but I was like, I was a little surprised.
But as I understand it, so we're in S2, we're not S3, which is extreme drought.
We're on
serious drought, we're right on the edge.
We're not on
But
this.
from what I'm reading, does that still allow someone to have a contained fire in their yard, in a fire pit,
So
let's say, or a
That
chopper?
has always been the gray area.
Yeah, that's what
Like, and the state is all kind of gray about it themselves. They don't have a clear set of no, yes, maybe. It's
Right, so if we have a 2-foot diameter.
No, I'm just wondering. I mean,
There's
for
no
my own
rules.
self, I had a fire, last week in a fire pit that I don't know, and I was watching it, and it was very low key, I'm going like, I wonder, I said to my wife, I wonder if we should even be having this right now.
the answer is no.
I mean, I guess not, no, I mean,
Money
even
just
though it was very
They
contained.
should be judicious about it, Yeah. But
Yeah.
There was no way I was walking away from it or anything.
Right,
but, But I was just wondering, like you were saying, like if someone goes camping, they allowed to have fires camping now at the state parks.
I think they also are, yeah, because we've been to a couple state parks in the last month and
Yes,
there's nothing there. And then there was a sign when we pulled into the Forest Service campground, but then, I don't know, I think it was an old sign or something, because then Emma went to the kiosk and, so.
I noticed that when we had the rain, what was a week ago now? Where was it? I noticed there was some burning in Moretown. There was,
If any of you see something burning in
yeah, I know. I thought I saw.
It's, it's one one amber going off.
Yeah.
Maybe a half a mile from where they actually had the fire, that something takes off, and you know, everyone's like, oh, it's raining right now. And I remember, no. I actually went and showed somebody. We'd gotten that rain like a week or two ago, and they were like, oh, but it's really wet here. And I was like, I understand, but number one, I can't issue permits right now, the state won't let me. And then I went and showed them literally an inch and a half after all that rain, inch and a half into the leaf litter. boom.
Dry, yeah.
So, that's something for
So
future.
before you leave, just one more, I know we got a lot of other stuff on the plate. Has anybody chatted with you about the bridge replacement here,
That's exactly
Fletcher
my
Bridge?
question, yeah.
Ah,
Nice job.
10-4.
Yeah.
Because,
I haven't heard anything about it. I heard that someday it was gonna get replaced, but I don't know.
yeah, so here's what,
So we had some questions. In fact, the other day I went looking for it. Your compatriots all gave me the, don't worry, you can do it. So that's they've already spoken for. So the bridge is going to be replaced over here.
2030?
Yeah, is it 2030 or?
in 5 years.
In about 5 years.
Yeah, somewhere around.
And so the proposals, they all come, we can either do footbridge, no bridge, a car bridge, temporary over there. And we've decided, in the residents over there, we're just going to do a pedestrian bridge during construction periods. Our concern is, what do we do for fire safety? I was thinking, maybe there's a pump on that side. I think it was Eric that suggested you could probably just run hoses from this side, and the pumper that we have now will pump that length.
It should pump that length fine, and if not, we can get another one to pump more. Like, that distance isn't undoable,
Right.
but in preparation for that, I would want to buy some more of the larger diameter hose, because I do have probably 800 feet of it, but I probably want a little bit more to get us,
Right.
especially up to the top house and things like that.
Yeah, so
That's something to certainly
Yeah.
consider in the near future then, is to start, whether it's, 2 lengths a year or something like that, so we make sure we are prepared for that, and it can phase out some of the older stuff as well. It's not like we're gonna use it just for this and that's it.
They're talking about the construction being a month.
So that's
I
something.
mean, is there anything like another vehicle that we could?
No, like I said, we don't have to. With the hoses, get some bigger
Now,
hoses.
with this pedestrian bridge, when we're talking pedestrian bridge, are we talking like, you hold on to a rope and walk across it? Are we talking like a 500-pound capacity bridge? So that people can walk across
It's
this?
a $200,000 bridge, pedestrian bridge, so it better.
Oh, it better. You gotta roll me with all my stuff on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, that's, real
Yeah, no
thought.
question, no. I'd rather go for the one with the rope,
Right, it'd be much cheaper, I'm sure.
but,
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
yeah, so as long as I thought that
Yeah, we were just wanted to make sure that we could,
we could do that.
and then, the only other thing would be a matter of ambulance would have to go across and carry
Well,
someone.
not to forget how wide, like, as long as it's ADA width, then
Yeah.
they can
No,
bring the
it would
stretcher
be.
across there.
Right, and they're used to carrying, that's,
And they have the rescue squad as well, as far as like if they need a transport, they've used us as, lift assist, and
yeah.
so it's very doable.
Good, so we can vote on that or later, just to make sure we send that proposal back to the state. I'd ask Sasha to make sure to remind us to know that.
Yeah, we just wanted to check with you about how we could.
Absolutely, we're used to, some people's driveways aren't really accessible, so it's, it's been a real thing before.
Mhm.
So I don't have any real worries about it, because fun fact, we would put more than one fire engine across the current bridge anyway.
Thanks. Anything else for Stefan?
That will do it for me.
All right, thank you, Stefan.
Yeah, have a good one. Thanks.
Before we go to the next thing, Robin, is that a real scene behind you, or is that?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, you guys didn't hear we won the Powerball? I lived out here.
Wow,
Yeah, we won like $2 million on that big Powerball.
cool.
So we live in the Dominican Republic now.
You're still doing your civic duty and
I gotta take a man and put some sunscreen on.
All right. This Sasha, what do you got for reports communications over there?
I've got a curb cut and a contract from Ray on that culvert, probably went on that.
Yep.
John Walter stopped by to drop off flyers, and he wanted to do an extra follow-up on the mishap earlier this summer. With that
So he wants to come in?
He came in, he said that, he sent it to his normal contact, but apparently that person doesn't work with the state anymore. So that's what the mishap was.
Oh,
So that's all set now. I sent you guys an email about flu and COVID shots, if it's anything you guys are interested in. This owner called again today. I hadn't heard from anybody, so.
I got mine. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
open that one.
No, they're doing, flu and COVID shots next week for families and members of the town.
Or select board member?
At the school?
Yeah, at the school.
Okay.
Just have to bring your insurance cards.
Yep. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Sherilyn left you guys a budget status report. And that's all I have.
Robin, how about you? You're online, anything?
Communications, or are we in old business?
Either or, you can just,
Well, I did go check out the culvert down by on Millbrook Road, that box culvert where Cal complaining about the hydro seat. And since it rained, it looks like it's doing really good down there, so I think we can probably call out the dogs on that one.
okay. So it was seated, good to hear.
That's about all I have right now.
All right, thank you, Robin. Mike, how about yourself?
I don't think I have anything that we didn't already discuss.
Okay. Robin. Don, how about you? You guys are going for us.
Well, just a little bit of, I guess we can talk about a facilities update for a minute. So in the town garage, a couple, well, first, are we gonna, is tonight a purchase policy tonight?
No.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week.
Yeah, okay.
Well, so a couple of things in the town garage. So for the exterior, I haven't talked to Brad Reagan, and I said, we know about the fence, but we got some site work to do. So we're looking into this site drainage and correct their spring runs through there where the propane tank is. We met with Gillespie to see if we could go to a smaller tank and how we can maybe relocate it, which I think we can. Try not to get too much into the weeds, but anyways, our town team is going to perform working on correcting some of the drainage in the back, which is causing some water to come through the foundation in the back of the garage. And so in order to do that, we did check out the tank. It doesn't look like that's an option we could pursue. But one of the things we need to do, and this was also D&K identified this, is that we need to remove some trees that are behind the building. And so I got a price from the folks that did the work here for us at the fire station. And there's about 10 trees actually, and some of them have to climb, so that's $3,000.
How far do we go back behind the garage?
Well, we walked back there, and I believe Rodney was checking it out. We go back, it appears to be about 20 feet or so, 25 feet, and then there's an old line. The Reagans have their spring back in there too. One of the trees that has to come down is the folks that live on this side, and I believe Martin's going to talk to them. Anyways, Martin says, believes he has in his budget still that he could cover that, the tree removal thing. So then, the other parts of the work that's got to get done there beside in the back, and hopefully he can get to this fall, is the tank risers And that whole side of the building there, you'll notice that the lids are all high when you go there. And that's causing water problems there, water on the side of the building. And so they're gonna try to do that on their own without our bringing in, we got a quote from an engineer for $6,700 to come in and do it, but we're gonna go for it ourselves. You might, as we get a little further down the road looking into this, whether we need any assistance in cutting the risers on the tanks.
Okay.
But they're believing they can do that. So that's the exterior at this point. Well, the exterior site work. So now the building. We've got 2 quotes for, the boiler is on its last leg. And both Peak and, is it LaFawn? Is that LaFawn? Have given us prices to replace the boiler. So that is 12 grand, basically, give or take a few dollars here and there. They're both very close in their price. We also had Pete come, to look at the air system, the dehumidification system. So this would be something for next year to think about, whether are there grants, are there whatever, So leaving the boiler out of it and saying, well, wow, should we do that this fall and figure out where we're gonna find, where we're gonna find the money? And then looking into the rest of the building and fixing the building. I would say we're gonna be looking at about $150,000 to fix the building with the air exchanger, with the electrical, with the rot repair, with fixing the sills outside of the building, painting the building, refinishing the garage doors, I don't have every price nailed down, but that's a ballpark of what I'm thinking it's gonna take to do. So so that's that story. We do need to decide about the boiler. So that's that building. I'll try to just keep moving.
Yeah.
Here at the town office, a quickie. Shout out to Jim O'Neill who's been working this. He's reached out to, hold on, let me find those notes. Talked about the fire station. He reached out to, I don't know the guy here, but he's, for the center rail here on the stairs is the guy who came and looked at it. He said, this is shot. If someone falls against it, it's not going to hold someone, basically. So he has agreed to fix it with stainless steel bases. Jim O'Neill is going to come and take it apart and bring it to him. And then the guy for $350 is going to put these stainless steel bases on them that won't get, rotted, thank you, that's the word I was looking for. And then Jim and those volunteers will paint it when it comes back.
All right, and then install back.
And install it back. Now the other railings that are also rusted on the ramp is still a work in progress. We're trying to figure out what the best scenario is so that, not replacing every one with stainless, whether we can, like sandblast them and then repaint them or something.
Something, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. But that right off, we should decide that we should do.
So the railing, yes.
The railing is kind of a no-brainer.
Right,
We should do that. That's a safety item and it's rusted and
I thought about coming over myself and just take
yeah, I mean,
down.
I wish we could.
I thought we said we could just take it down because the two, we need that for code or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into going right in and seriously looking at the code, but it's, most people I've talked to about it and said, yes, it's a code.
Keep it there.
It's a code.
It's there for a reason.
Yeah, it's there for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
So, but as far as the railings on the ramp, Jim has been talking about how we could unscrew them, lift them up, clean them, keep the side, the flooring. He was talking about some way that we could clean the rust off of that and try to repaint those, wire brush them and sand them, the sand, metal grinder thing. And,
Yeah.
but that's not going to happen this year, but hopefully we can see if we can get it figured out for next year to fix those. And I wish I mentioned it to Stefan, but I have mentioned it to Mark. I know we need to put salt out, it's a safety item, but maybe sometimes we need to consider a little, not as much maybe, or.
Not as much,
Yeah.
but they do have different product that doesn't.
What?
They have different products like
Yeah.
that are pet safe.
You buy a
They're
pet
not
safe
gonna, they're not gonna eat stuff. It's not gonna grind into the metals.
It doesn't, yeah,
Right.
is there a different product
There
that
is
we
a
can
different
use?
product, it's more expensive, of
Oh,
course.
there you go.
But does it melt just as well?
I've seen it work pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe you can look into that, Tom, and
Yeah.
see if it's in.
But out here, there's roof over the steps and over the ramp. It's out back where we come in the back door that we really
Right.
need to use it.
how are those railings there? I haven't even really.
I haven't even really looked at those.
Okay, so anyways, the railing, I don't know how much, seeing that we're gonna take the railings off of the volunteer and we're bringing it to the guy's shop, do I need to get the paperwork that we need from, I don't need a certificate of insurance if it's to the guy's shop,
No, you mentioned it.
yeah, I think we could do that, so we'll get that one going. So the town garage I told you about.
So
The fire,
before
what?
we move on to that,
Which one? It's
the
the town
boiler,
office?
the boiler is what I want.
Oh, the boiler, town garage, yeah.
I would like to try it out. Is that something that needs to be done this fall, you think, or is it?
Well, it seems to be the opinion, in talking with Martin, I just met him in the beginning of the week to ask him again the same question. And, both mechanical contractors go, it's had its life. Maybe you'll make it through the winter, or, it could go, and if it's, some below zero day, it could be not a good thing.
Why don't you check with Sherilyn tomorrow and I was just gonna look at a comparative budget, or maybe you can actually hold off on it, but you've got the two quotes, it's 12 to 13,000. I think that's something we need to seriously look at if we can afford it, because I don't wanna do it in January where it's gonna be.
You'll always just be paying more.
Yeah. And then
Because
they.
it's emergency.
And if something freezes.
Yeah, or right, or if it breaks on Friday night and no one's there and there's more equipment
Yeah, 'cause
damage.
I don't think it's a question whether we're gonna do it eventually or not, so let's get after these things, so.
Right. And the other thing, I can start to nail down the cost a little bit more, and we can see how we can maybe phase it over 2 years or something, do the dehumidification and then do some of the carpentry work, the following year or something, just do a little bit of the really stuff that's really bad. Well, it's all pretty bad, but.
Yeah, I think that's where the committee will have to start coming up, and all right, what's the cost of us not doing it, is what we're gonna start looking at too.
Well, that's what's happened.
Is it, because then in 5 years, I'm gonna throw my cat through the building,
No, that's why I'm starting to pull this together, because we've got to have a plan to start to fix these buildings up, because it's just, like the town garage, this has just gone on for a long time. So,
Yeah, no, I think, and I applaud the work there, it's not a glorious thing, but it's
it's coming
getting
together.
other things
Yeah.
that needs to be done.
And so just on the fire station, I'm waiting for the gentleman that we've used in town here, Hunger Valley Construction, they're out of Waterbury. He's done some work in the town hall, and he did some work at the fire station once before for us, and I think here. So I'm just waiting he was supposed to email me a quote, but I guess I'll probably, before he starts, I'll be back to the next meeting, but we do have some exterior repairs that we could do to the fire station that are within our number, and then we can look to the next year or two to do some of this other stuff.
Yeah, so I think, let's not give up any of that money we've already allocated.
And then,
Get it done.
the only other thing is that I haven't even done it yet is the same with the History Center. I mean, that's gonna have to get a list developed of stuff that needs to be done in the building, you know?
Well, the boiler that we've already,
Well, that was one of them, but I mean, you know, the siding, the roof, this, and, you know, I've only taken a quick look at it, but, you know, it's an old building, it needs, you know, needs to be painted at some point, you know. And I'm not suggesting that all this stuff, it's just, and someday, you know, this will be all typed up on spreadsheets and everything, but, you know, we'll have to get handed off to another person, or unless someday the town gets a town administrator or something, which, you know, maybe that's gonna be somewhere in the future, but it's gotta, hopefully I can help start.
you got a process started.
Thank you, a process where we take care of the buildings.
And if we have it, and we have our line items on it where it's visible for people, like when you move on, I move on, Mike moves on, there'll be, Robin moves on, there'll be a history of, all right, what do we have to do here? Maybe it'll be.
Oh, look, we're supposed to do this in 2026.
Right.
We gotta keep that money in the budget.
Right, almost with our, you know, our finance committees or,
Capital budget.
right, you know,
In fact, this, eventually, when I get this a little more together, we should hand this to the finance committee to say, here, this is what some of these buildings are gonna need in the next 1 to 3, 5 years, whatever, you know?
You started putting that stuff in a spreadsheet?
I hopefully will, yeah.
Okay. Well, just let me know if you want help, or if
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, we will.
it's like each building would have a tab.
Oh,
And then-
exactly,
and then,
yeah.
you know,
We actually started one, but then I was just been running and meeting
Yeah.
people and, you know, just, that's my old fashioned way.
Yeah.
to, you know. But
I
yeah,
am
you
doing
know,
that too, yeah. I got you, yeah.
but I know, we gotta get it so that we can email it around and look at it.
good stuff, man. That's-
So that's, you know, and I even have a slip for the sand pit, but we can save that for another day to talk about, you know, like what we might, you know, signage and stuff like that. And I have that drawing for you. If you-
Oh, yeah.
So we, you know, speaking of the town board, I was down there, I think last Wednesday or something, I met with Martin and I guess most of the guys were there, and also a guy from, I think it's Vermont Security. We got a grant for security cameras. So we're looking at putting a few cameras outside, I think 2 inside or 3 inside, I don't really know.
Down, yeah, he mentioned down there, and also we're gonna have them here too, right? Or we
They're
already
already
have them.
installed here.
But yeah, we have them inside here, and then, so yeah, I think it'll be a good thing, we're just trying to figure out where they walk, you know, where we have them, and things
Yeah.
like that, but I think it'll be good.
Well, I also mentioned to Martin when he was telling me about when I was reading about the boiler, I don't know if we could include it in this, but maybe have locks be like, you know, a code, a keypad, thank you, a keypad. And that way, you know, because a lot of times the doors are, you know, unlocked and where are the keys, and, you know, Martin thought that was a good idea to have it that way.
Yeah. No, we also had discussed, rather than cameras, perhaps having an alarm system down there as well. But I think they decided that the cameras were really what they wanted to do. I don't know. It was a grant that I think Martin and Cheryl had worked on. Or,
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty good thing.
So then, my last thing, so we can all go home and have dinner or whatever, but is, we haven't scheduled a meeting yet, the town meeting team. But now, all of a sudden, you know, as we start to work on budgets and, you know, we'll be rolling along, but I would think that we would still do what we did last year. It worked really well to have the meeting at 4 on Tuesday. I think the feedback was really good. The childcare and potluck was a big success, and whether we still do the pre-town meeting, you know, what did we do it? Did we do it 2 weeks before or something? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we did, yeah.
Yeah, I think it really worked pretty well. The
I
only
think
thing
we should try to do that again. you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're gonna meet in October sometime just to, you know, get the juices flowing again and try to get organized, but, you know.
The only thing that I think the questions that we had about that is, we discussed maybe having a pre-town meeting in January so that there could be, all right, this is what we want to see there.
Time to change the budget.
Right, time to change some of
Yeah,
the
well, that's what two other towns do. They have
I think Middlesex.
Waterbury and Duxbury, or maybe Middlesex does it too. It's, they call it
Have your say.
thank you,
Yeah.
have you say that. So yeah, whether we can pull that off, you know.
So, you know, talk to the committee about that and you lock that in.
Okay. Yeah, but that's something we'll need to, in December or something, be like right on, because, right? When
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
When will we have to make that
Well,
decision?
Sasha got us online with getting our budget stuff done earlier this year, or on time, so that might allow us to do something like that.
And I know Karen was reaching out to we're gonna talk to the town manager in Waterbury about how they do it, you know, so maybe we can get some more specifics.
Yeah, so that's just a thought. I
Yeah.
really like what we did last year.
Okay, that's,
You done?
I'm good, yeah.
Anything else there?
While you're talking about that, I have Clark at the next one for the final, the village wastewater. And then Mark from the Mad River Valley Ambulance Service asked to come in so we could talk to you guys because that's kind of been put off. He wanted 10 minutes of your time, and then I've got the purchase policy on.
That's good. Yep. I also, I'm glad you brought up Mark Call. I got a call from, I think his name was Alex. I think he called here from the Waterbury ambulance. They want to speak to me, but I didn't get back to him. I'll have him come into a meeting because he wanted to share some different ideas that they had.
I offered that, and he said he wanted to talk to you first.
Okay, yeah. I like to have it all out here. But so we'll do that. I won't do it for next meeting, but we'll get that
Okay.
as well. Other stuff for old business that I have. So that, just make sure I get that up here. Back to the land purchase with Ray. Well, that stuff. So Sherilyn had looked into it, to the VLTC lawyers to see, give a second opinion there. So there was an update on Selectboard selling property. So there's a couple ways we can do it. They both include a public warning. So we can either put out the terms if we're having a public meeting. So if we were having like a town meeting or something, we could say, all right, we want to sell this piece of land. We're going to sell it to Ray for these terms here, and then have everyone vote at town meeting on that. Or the other alternative that actually was alternative one, and this is what I would recommend, is that we just post it because of more for time considerations. We do the warning, it's posted, and it has to be posted in 3 different places. We follow the statute here. And then if there's 5% of the folks in town object to it or want a public vote, we do that in 30 days. And so it may suggest that we have a lawyer write up the warning, so I did that. Or we had our group that we work with in Montpelier there do it, so they have written up a warning that we would post in the 3 places, so probably the Valley Reporter front page form or front porch form, and one other, I think we're posting, wherever we post things, Sasha.
Yeah, sweet.
And I'll just read it for you. Here's the warning here. The town proposes to sell this land to Ray Washburn for a sale price of blank, and then we need to fill that in. The full terms of the sale are detailed in a purchase and sale agreement available for review in the town office. Pursuant to 24 VSA 1061, this notice has been posted at 3 regular posting places in the town of Moretown and really polished in whatever paper we decide to. If a petition signed by 5% of the legal voters of the town of Moretown object to the details of the sale as presented to the town clerk within 30 days of the date of the posting and publication of this notice, then the town will cause the question of whether to convey the property under the terms set forth at a special or annual meeting. So then that would push it out to like a town meeting, and they would vote at that point. So, and so what I am, we have the meeting minutes when this was approved. Thank you, Rob. I'm losing my thought process here. So I'd say we go ahead with this, the same proposal, the original that they had. As far as the price, the town proposed sale of land to the Ray Washburn sale price of $1 and other considerations, and as posted, they're available for review, and then they can come and check this out. Sound good with everyone?
Yeah.
Robin?
Acceptable. Acceptable to
I
me.
just see that through.
Yep. And here's the 2 statutes there. And here's, I have copies of that too.
Yeah, I know.
You were there at that meeting, right?
Yeah, I know. I was.
So I guess I would move, we probably should have, I guess we should probably do, I'll make a motion on this. I'll move to, no, actually we don't need to, because everything's all set here. We're just following through with the statute
Way to do it.
and how to do it. So Sasha, we can do that.
Go ahead and get it posted.
Yeah. And the other thing we need to do before I do have some executive business that we need to go into, but we should do the select board minutes of 9:15.
Okay, make a motion to approve the select board minutes from 9:15.
I'll second it.
Don seconds. All in favor, vote aye.
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 Is there any other old business or new business?
Yeah, just one last quick
Sure.
business thing, because I noticed that some of Mr. Piazza's property is up for sale.
We're going into executive session for it.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep. So any other old business aside from that stuff?
Talk about it tonight,
Never.
So I'd go into executive session for, this is actually confidential attorney-client communication made for the purpose of providing legal services to the body. Second, thank you, Mike. Any further discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
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 All right. And thank you, Orca, for being here.